Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be looking at which is better, the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy SP. So we're just going to go over a general overview of the advantages and disadvantages and my thoughts and opinions on the better one and everything like that. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. So if you're going to be if you're looking, so perhaps if you watch my video about why I play a Game Boy in 2020, maybe you've been inspired, and so this is a bit of a video which is the better option. So this is specifically for the Game Boy Advance series, you know, with the new Game Boy, the revised Game Boy Advance games. You see the smaller cartridges and the most modern retro kind of gaming handheld console, if you can kind of say it like that. So first of all, the specs of them. So Game Boy Advance, which is the first one that you see, very reflective. There's me. Very reflective screen. This came out in 2001. This is the original one. This is the original Game Boy Advance, and so yeah, as you can see, in my opinion, more ergonomic design. It doesn't have, wouldn't say it has. Yeah, no, it has an ergonomic design. In the time, you know, it has the beveled, concaved trigger buttons. Has a nice rounded thing for your fingers. It's a good distance. How do I show this? It's a good distance for your thumbs, you know. And I mean, I don't have particularly large hands. I say I have kind of medium hands, or small even, for a man, that is. The thumbs work. Sorry, the buttons are all nicely placed. The buttons are all nicely placed. The buttons are, as you can see, they come out of the Game Boy. They come out a good distance. They're very tactile, and they feel good in the hand to press. What else? The speaker's fine. It has a volume wheel there, headphone jack, and then there's a power. And then on the top you have your link cable if you were to have that. So this runs off 2 AA batteries, just like that, and maybe different Game Boys would be different, although they say, I think they were advertised as originally having maybe 8 hours of gameplay, but that is not the case for mine. It's significantly less, and it does wear on me, to be honest. Having to go through lots of AA batteries, 2 AA batteries consistently, it does get a bit of a drag. You will have to be replacing them semi-consistently. The speaker audio is fine. However, when I use the headphones, I get like a buzzing issue. I don't know if there's a grounding issue within the Game Boy. That could be just my Game Boy. I don't know if anybody else. I don't know if anybody else has that issue, but I do have that issue. There is a loud, audible sounding, like it sounds like something's not grounded. Yeah, has a nice robust plastic case. It's fine. It's not weak. It doesn't flex or anything in the hand. It's good plastic. It's solid, and you wouldn't have to. You know, you can drop this. You can throw it around. It's pretty safe. And so now we're going so yeah, and finally the screen. Now, as you can see, this is. Let me turn out the audio so you can actually hear this. So the speaker's coming out. There's a speaker there. Yeah, that's on max volume, and I'm holding it. My mic's just here, just here. So, oh yeah, I suppose you can hear some more, just so you can see hear how that. Yeah, you can see my microphone there in the reflection of the thing. That's enough. However, now this is an perfect example of what the biggest downfall there. That's a good reflection right there. Is getting the light on the game so you can properly play the game. You know, I often struggle I often struggle getting the glare out of the not in the screen. The reason to that is this screen is not backlit, which I'll show you on the Advanced SP in a second. This is not backlit, so you need a light shining onto the screen. It's just complete LCD, liquid display, liquid crystal display, and so without a light shining on it, it's very difficult to play. That's a big negative in two ways. It's because, first of all, it limits the amount of gameplay you can have at once. You can't be playing in a dark situation. You would not be able to play it. Even in a well-lit situation, if you don't have a light shining directly on it, it's going to have a problem. And second of all, the glare, it's going to be difficult to then, once you've found a good light source, to then position yourself in a comfortable manner where you're able to play and also not have back cramp or something like that. So that is a big downfall for this. In terms of the colours is fine. Obviously, it's difficult because it determines on your backlight, on your front light. If you have like a warm kind of glow from a lamp or something like that, you're going to get a more warmer colour. If you're going to have a more icy one, it's going to be a bit more slightly blue, and so it all depends. But generally speaking, it's got fine colour as long as you have a good as long as you have a good front light. It's got good colour, so you don't have to worry about that. It plays all games, plays advanced games, plays normal Game Boy Color, normal original Game Boy games, and ultimately I think that finishes up this. Has the switch is nice and tactile and everything like that. Has a nice light there. As you can see, I need to replace my batteries just as I was talking about. But overall, this is a good that's a good console, and that's the benefits and negatives. Main positives: ergonomic, good ergonomic design, general tactileness, robust. Biggest downfall: not backlit screen, not and being limited by the batteries, which I'll get onto a bit more when I start comparing the two. Now, at the moment, I'm just going over each one individually. Second of all, Advanced SP. So, as you can see, this is a foldable one. It is quite small, only about a couple inches by like 3 by 4 or something like that, maybe, and by 1. And generally a very, very sleek design. First time Nintendo had done this. Oh no, not the first time Nintendo, because but the most popular time Nintendo had done this, before the Nintendo DS. Now, so if I'm going to go over the positives again, like this with first, again, so this time you see a backlit screen. If I turn off my light, it's backlit. You can still see. It's got a great color on the thing. On this particular model, this is AGS 001. There's AGS 101, which have very good color, and it's a very good screen, IPS screen. This is the 001, which is the most common and most likely one you are going to buy. But nonetheless, it's still good. It's got good color. It's got good brightness, and as you can see here, you can change the you can turn the backlight off using that. So you can't really see it. The only thing is that's from my computer right there, and then you turn it back on and you can play. I can't see this right now. I can't see the Game Boy logo, but turn the backlight on, I can see it. And it's got a good color. It's got a good color. I can see it fine. It looks good. Nothing to worry about there. Then moving on, the volume, which I'll go over again. This has a slider instead of a volume wheel, so just up and down. And let's let you hear the thing is right there. In my opinion, I think the one in the Game Boy Advance was better than the Game Boy SP, to be honest. I don't think this one was. Seemed to have a bit more background noise and stuff like that. However, that's just my opinion. Rechargeable battery. That is a very big positive for this. So you know, you have your link cable there, that's your charging thing. I don't know, this is my brother's, so I haven't really used it a lot, so I can't comment on the battery life on it, but even if it's not longer than AA batteries, it is significantly more convenient. So the wire is going to be significantly more convenient and nothing infinitely times better in my personal opinion. So, other things to do with it. Not an ergonomic design. I don't have big hands, and even when my brother bought this years and years ago, even when I was younger and a child, I could tell this was a very uncomfortable thing to play. Your hands have to be so close together. You see my fingers are overlapping, unlike with the Gameboy thing. Another thing I don't like is the buttons are not erased. Okay, now obviously Nintendo were first, or not first, but really experimenting to make the buttons to have a foldable thing. The buttons on here are sunken down. I don't like that. Then they don't have the same amount of travel. In my personal opinion, they're not as, the travel isn't good enough. It's very tactile. Maybe you'll be able to hear that. There's a very audible click, and they're not spongy at all, and they're very responsive. However, they're not enough travel, and I personally don't like it. It takes it away. Another really big flaw is this start and select button. They're in very uncomfortable places. You have to put your thumbs down like that, so there's a delay on the thing. As opposed, I'm not comparing them. I'm just going over them. Keep going. That's very uncomfortable, particularly with games that really incorporate the start and select. If you're having to do that a lot, it's uncomfortable to do, especially as well because the cameras are sunk. Second of all, the casing in this is not as robust. As you can see, my brother did this just a couple of days ago when he got it out again, when I asked him to do this because I wanted to do this video. As you can see here, the hinge is snapped off and there's a lot of wiggle you see there. And on the other side, the hinge is still attached, but it's snapped from the base, which should be there. And this is a very big flaw. You cannot just throw it around as much. It is going to break, and you need to be careful with it. And I know this was a very common issue with the first original DS, that the hinge snapped, and I guess they didn't fix it. So again, with this, when you turn this on, has the LED. It has the LED here, which doesn't seem to be as bright. Maybe there you go. You see it a bit better. And then the second one is for when it's charging, and that's the general overview of both of them. They both cost the same amount. If you're paying more than £30, really check what you're buying, if it's a limited edition thing or something like that, because generally you can get them from anywhere from £5 to, then maybe the higher end ones are £30. They're generally all the same, but you do want to check. AGS 101s I can go for £100. This is the 001, so it's not as sought after, but it's still good. Actually, I'm just going to say here, the rechargeable battery is 3.8 volts. Has a 1.6 watt power output. So if anyone can get anything from that about the length of it or what it might be, then that would be appreciated, because I don't know. So moreover, yeah, they both cost the same. Don't really worry about the cost. It is purely it is purely what is the game itself. It's not about the money you might have to put into it. So comparing them, what is better, this SP or the regular? Now, I wish I was able to do this. I somewhat do regret buying the Advance. I bought the Advance off just going off my heart. I always thought this design was so cool. It was different because I had DSs in this I had DSs in my younger youth. This was DS reminiscent, so I wanted something, and also my brother had it. I wanted something completely different. I was really drawn to this. I personally love the purple, so I was this. But if I really, and I, obviously I did weigh it up beforehand, but I just went. I decided, no, I want this one. This is the cooler one. I slightly do regret that, because you do not underestimate how much you'll be limited in your gameplay particularly by the backlight. Think about what times of the day you're going to be playing and where you're going to be playing it. Okay, I have to be sitting here with this light over me if I want to play, unless I'm in the kitchen, but I'm not going to do that in the kitchen. I can't play in my living room because there's not enough good lighting. So really think about, I can't play at night time again, unless I'm sitting here. You do need to think about where you're playing. If you have a window behind you constantly, that's great. If you have a good, comfortable light to sit behind, maybe in your bed or something. I'm in the bunk bed, so I don't have that. Then really do think about that. Another thing is the batteries. It's so annoying having to replace them every so often. And in fact, what happened to me was when I was playing Link to the Past, I had my game corrupted because I was during a boss fight, and I was being a bit, I was risking it with my batteries because they were very low health, and I wanted to get through this boss. It died, and because you're not supposed to save or turn off the game during a boss fight and stuff like that, my game was corrupted, and I had to completely restart and regain all my progress, which was highly infuriating. However, the ergonomic design is far more comfortable to hold. I would get a cramp playing this for too long. I don't personally play with the speakers, but when I do, it's good. The headphones could be a bit more better. But overall, the really big downfall is the screen and the battery. Unlike this, which it does have. And now, something I forgot to mention beforehand when I was going over this, the Advance does not have a headphone jack. This can be a problem with someone if you're traveling. If you're on an airplane or something like that in the bus, you're not going to be playing it out loud. So keep in mind that if you're having it sort of a pastime when you're in a social situation, you're not really going to be able to experience the audio, and that's a big thing for me because a lot of tracks in it, particularly in these early games, have a really good soundtracks in it, and can bring some nostalgia or whatever. So I would say that I would say that's a downfall. And overall, if I had to rate it purely on the specification, what would I rate? I would rate the SP over the Advance. Okay, and that's purely because of the backlit screen, the rechargeable battery as well. If I was in during that boss fight and I had a thing, I could just charge it up and it wouldn't have a bit of problem. I don't have to worry about batteries. It's expensive and it's inconvenient, and it can cost you your game sometimes. And purely the backlit screen, I would be playing this so much more. I could be playing sitting comfortably on my bed, downstairs, in any kind of situation, any sort of social situation, which is another thing. I guess it kind of contradicts myself, just what I said. You can't play it in social situations. Well, you can't play this in social situations at all because you need a backlit, or in any situation, not social situations, in any situation, because you need a front lit thing. With this, you can play it anywhere, and you will have to sacrifice the audio sometimes, but that's okay. In my opinion, I would say this rules higher. And I know the design isn't the most ergonomic. I really do find it quite uncomfortable. However, for extended, more comfortable gameplay, you have to think about what's more comfortable. Is this more comfortable? Or is me having to sit at my desk with a light over the top of me more comfortable? In my opinion, I would say having my hands a little bit squashed together is probably more comfortable. Okay, and also, okay, yeah, and that's what I rate better. However, I'm not done here. That is the baseline. In my personal opinion, unless you have a lots of light source, and unless you have enough money and time, and you don't care about batteries, buy this. I think it's cooler. The look of it's cooler. Ergonomic is cooler. However, generally, I would say this in most situations is better. However, I'm not done here, because that's not all you can do. You can do mods, and now this isn't for everyone, so if you've already watched the video, got your answer, this is the video. If you don't do mods, skip it. You can buy modded ones, however they're considerably more expensive, and in my opinion, not worth it. I would rather just buy a cheap version of this, and having to buy a really expensive version of this. Which do the same thing ultimately, except for looking a bit different and having some flaws in some areas. But you can buy modded, or you can make your own mods. If you can make your own mods, that's great. You can easily drill a hole, the corner of here, the side, or wherever, and install a headphone jack. Just a couple soldering points. Easy. Play it anywhere you like, literally anywhere you like. The same for this. You can buy screens. However, screens can be expensive. Screens can be £50. Some of the most expensive ones. Some go down a bit cheaper than maybe £30. And there is also a front light. It's not. You're still having a non-backlit screen. You're just adding a front light. That has its own issues, and if you're interested in that, watch his own videos, because I'm not going to go over that, because this video is getting a bit long already. But basically, that can blur the screen a little bit. The colours aren't the best. Buying a good IPS screen, it's more work. You have to do more work, and also, however, it does result in very good color quality and pixelation and everything like that. You can also do rechargeable batteries, or a actual rechargeable battery like this in here, like a lithium ion battery, which you put into here. They're not as expensive as the thing. I think they're maybe £30 up, possibly. £30 is generally maybe $45. £50, maybe $65, $70. And so, if you're comfortable doing that and you don't mind spending the money, do that. By all means, I think that's it. I think that's a perfectly good option. I do intend on modding this at some point. I'll probably put a front light. I don't really want to spend lots of money on a backlight. And also, you can obviously do other mods. You can improve this speaker quality. You can do lots of things. You can completely entirely change the shell of it, and so yeah, that's some possible options if you're welcome to do that. And if I was willing to, if I had the money and if I had the willpower, I would just get one of these. I would get one of these, as opposed to this. So that's where it changes in the dynamic. However, the reason I bought these in particular is because I wanted a nostalgic, authentic, original experience playing these games and using these consoles for the first time, like how people would have done a while ago. If that is not what you care about, what I recommend to you is buying an aftermarket Gameboy clone, a modern day Gameboy clone. It will do these things, all the positives I just mentioned in this video, infinitely times better. It might cost a little bit more, maybe cost about £30 or £50, but I've seen some really good ones maybe for £20 and even less. And they have a good screen. They'll have a rechargeable battery, because that's the standard nowadays. When these were around, rechargeable batteries weren't the standard, so that's why they use batteries. Good screen, good rechargeable battery. You'll have a headphone jack. It will have most likely have a speaker. Maybe in some ways the plastic, if I can think off the top of my head, the plastic and robustness of it might not be as high quality. The buttons might not be as tactile, but it's going to do what you want it to do. It's going to play games, and better yet, it'll probably have a ROM inserted in it, so you won't have to buy the games. You won't have to buy, a Pokemon game. You won't have to buy a Legend of Zelda game. You won't have to play a Mario game. It's all downloaded into the system already, so all you have to do is switch it. That'll save you money, and that will save you space as well. Personally, that's not what I was looking for. I wanted an authentic thing of taking out the game, doing all that, buying them individually. However, if that's not what you are into, buy that, and you can see many videos. I'm going to recommend the Retro Future. He does lots of modding videos, cleanup videos, setup videos of Game Boys and other retro consoles, and he also reviews some things sometimes. So if I was you, I would do that if that's not what you're into. Other than that, there's this video concluded. I know it's been a bit long. I've been going on, I've been talking as fast as I can, trying to get all the information out as quick as possible, but that is what it is. So overall, this is better for standard use, for modded use, and this is better. However, and for non-nostalgic use, get a aftermarket modern day one. That's the better. Usually aftermarket modern day ones, they won't have this shell. There'll be a standard Game Boy Color or Game Boy thing. Another thing I didn't mention as well, just quickly, okay, it's not slimmer. It's about the same thickness, but it is smaller. It is smaller generally in dimension. Only in the horizontal dimension. Vertically and width and thickness is the same. So I wouldn't say that's really a massive thing for me personally. The screen is the same size. Yeah, the screen is the same size. And the the screen is the same size. Sorry. So yeah, that's the main things. Size isn't really a massive thing, and also you can easily bring around a bag. There's a carry bag, you can put it in your pocket, it's whatever, you can bring it in a coat. It's not going to be a massive issue. And I wouldn't really, I wouldn't really compliment it on that. But anyway, that is this video done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I've been talking very fast and everything like that. But that's that video. That's how I like to make videos, to try and get all the information out as quickly as possible. If I do have, if you did have any questions, any comments, any future videos, please leave them down in the description or comment section. I mean, I'll read all them, read the description. I have links in there and stuff like that. So otherwise than that, please like the video, share it, and subscribe. I would appreciate everything you do. Other than that, that's it in this video, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.